Zoë Damacela operates a 3-year-old business out of her Pilsen apartment, where she designs and produces women's fashions under her own label. She expects sales to grow by more than 200% this year. She's won funding from 2 Chicago business organizations, and she has the ear of several of the city's entrepreneurial heavyweights. She is 17 years old. This is a story about one of Chicago's youngest entrepreneurs, and about the power of entrepreneurship itself. We tend to celebrate enterprise as a force for wealth creation and innovation, but look what it can do for a young Zoë Damacela, harnessing creativity, channeling ambition, imposing discipline, understanding finance. What's good for a young business can be just as good for a young mind. Damacela got her first lesson in the power of enterprise 9 years ago while living in Section 8 housing in Santa Barbara, California. 8-year-old Zoë desperately wanted the Razor scooter that all her friends were riding, but her mom, Farah, a single parent struggling to pay the rent, couldn't afford $60 toys. Seeing her daughter's disappointment, Mom offered a deal. If Zoë could raise half the money, she could have the scooter. As Farah remembers it today, she proposed the deal simply to show how hard money was to come by and to help her little girl understand why she didn't have the things the other kids had.
I honestly didn't think that she was going to come up with the money. I thought it was a lot of money for a little kid.
But little Zoë did just that. With a set of markers and some construction paper, she made dozens of greeting cards, then stood on the corner barking out a sales pitch. At the end of a long day, Zoë had her $30. She got her scooter, and she did learn something, although not what her mom had expected her to learn.
I realized that you can't just get something without putting any effort into it. And I also realized that if I really wanted something, I could always figure out a way to get it for myself.
Damacela brought that realization with her when she and Farah moved to Chicago in 2002. In middle school, she sold homemade jewelry to make pocket money. She learned to sew and started making her own clothes. As a freshman at Whitney Young High School, Damacela sold her first dress to a classmate for $13. The next year, she raised the price to $25 and sold some more. She even fetched $150 for a few prom dresses. But while she was making enough to pay for her supplies, for sewing equipment, and for an occasional concert or a movie, Damacela's dressmaking was as much a hobby as a business. And then she came across a story in the school newspaper about a Whitney Young class called Small Business Ownership. Whitney Young is one of 35 Chicago high schools that offer a class put on by the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship, or NIFTE, a national organization that tries to teach teenagers about running a business in order to help them understand the value of education. Damacela enrolled and started the NIFTE class last year as a junior.
And I thought this would be great for me since I had already started my own business, just to learn a little bit more about the business side, because I kind of had like the creative side of the business down, because I'd been doing it for so many years, but I really had no idea how to handle the business side of it.
The class opened her eyes. Damacela realized she had no idea if her business was profitable because she'd never kept track of the costs. The NIFTE curriculum taught her to break down the value of her product, to measure her time as an input cost, and calculate her return on investment. And while the other kids in the class thought about those concepts in the abstract, Damacela went home every day and applied them to the operation in her cramped bedroom. Understanding what her dresses were worth and what it cost her to make them, she raised the price to $300 this year. Part of the class required each student to write a business plan to enter in a city-wide competition. Damacela advanced through 2 rounds to the finals. In late May, she and 5 other students presented their plans to a panel of judges including Morningstar founder Joe Mansueto and restaurateur Larry Levy. With dozens of existing customers, equipment she'd purchased herself, and an obvious determination to turn her talent into a business, Damacela took the $2,000 prize. It was Levy's 3rd year judging the NIFTE competition. He says he'd never seen a business plan like Damacela's.
She's in business, she's making her product, she's succeeding, and she's really an expert on what she does.
After the competition, Levy ordered a Zoë Damacela dress for his 5-year-old granddaughter.
That is really cute.
Oh, thank you.
Another of the NIFTE judges, Deborah Quazzo, a principal at Next Global Advisors and a founder of Think Equity Partners, offered to mentor Damacela.
I was particularly struck by trying to help her realize that the plan could be, she has a plan that is a $14,000 revenue plan, and if she really wanted it to be, it could really be $1 million business plan.
And 2 weeks after winning the NIFTE prize, Damacela won another $5,000 in a business plan contest sponsored by the Chicagoland Entrepreneurial Center. In October, she'll compete for $10,000 at NIFTE's National Business Plan Competition in New York. With the prize money, Damacela hopes to bring on some help as she carefully scales her business up. This year, she expects to sell 90 to 100 dresses at around $300 each. She should clear $30,000 in sales and take well over $10,000 in profit. But even as her business grows, Damacela says she'll resist the temptation to jump in full-time after graduation. Heeding Nifty's and her mother's direction, she'll go straight into college. She'd like to attend the School of the Art Institute. Not that she plans to set her business aside. She sees Zoë Damacela Apparel growing steadily through her college years.
I'm thinking that by the time I'm in college, I'll probably have, my freshman year, I might have 3 employees, and then sophomore year, probably about 4 or 5.
Balancing that against a full class load could be tough for an undergrad, but for an entrepreneur, it goes with the territory.